Okay. I'm here. I'm ready to do the thing. We are building some stuff today, folks. Some stuff. So, what my goal here today is to get one deck of each legal class. Technically legal class? I guess Cavdine exists, right? Does he not? Hold on. Son of a bitch. I have to make a merchant hero. Oh, okay, so hold on. We need one more. Yeah. Okay, hold on. Let me fix this. Mechanologist. Merchant. Okay. All right, so the goal here is up in the top left is all of the heroes that I would like to build for Commoner that are either good in the format currently or are at least the best versions of their class. Kind of the game plan here for this. So already off the bat, the Brute I know I'm going to be choosing is Reiner, because Reiner I feel like is the best Brute in the format. He does the most. He's a very basic mid-range hero. Does pretty good. Guardian, not sure on Guardian yet, so we haven't touched that. Illusionist is going to be, in fact, Enigma, because Enigma is the best Illusionist right now. Mechanologist is going to be just Dash. The only merchant we can play is Cavdane, right? Cavdane. Our ninja is going to be Ira. Our ranger is going to be Azalea. Our rune blade is going to be Chain. Our warrior is a question mark, and wizard is Iceland. So, warrior, guardian. Technically, guardian might even be Oldham, but it could be Betsy too. So, all right. I think we're pretty much good here. We have an idea about what we want to build. We just need... About to say, where's my audio? We just need to go about making sure that our overall plan for these heroes is good, right? So let's go ahead and take a quick look here at what we've got and what we're gonna make. So if we look in Common and we take a look at the assassins that we have, right? If we take a look strictly at Assassin, we are given Arachne Solitary Confinement, Arachne Web of Deceit, New, and Azuri, right? Now, in this situation, playing Arachne Web of Deceit probably is the best bet. The only reason being is because New does not get nearly as much disruption in Commoner, and being able to play your opponent's blues it'd be great if you were able to mill more, right? But because you can't, New is because Double Trouble doesn't exist, right? You can't play Double Trouble. So New effectively just gets to do what any assassin does, which is utilize the reaction step, right? I feel that Arachne does that reaction step better, and sometimes even just completely blown out of the water, especially when you put things like Frailty Trap in your deck, whenever you switch into Trapdoor and things like that. Always good things to look into. Arachne Solitary Confinement is also not a bad pick because it allows for our stealth attacks to go again, or your first stealth attack to go again. And so you can present this disruption faster by attacking with a dagger, attacking with the stealth card, and then attacking with a big card to disrupt your opponent afterwards, right? That is overall the consensus of what you'd want to do with the deck, is kind of come in for I'd say it's probably best to come in for something like a pay 2 and then attack with a 0 cost attack, and then pay 2 more, come in with another dagger maybe, and then you can even attack with a 2 cost, right? A 2 cost attack. So with 2 blues, a 0 cost, and a 2 card attack, a 2 card or 2 cost card, you could make Solitary Confinement work good. Not a bad choice specifically for commoner, but it is something that we can certainly go ahead and look into. The next thing is that we have this Arachne. Now, I don't think that this Arachne is a great choice, because obviously we're kind of stuck to a more contract build where obviously stealth seems to get most of the love in here, but being able to make silver, you also can't really do anything with the silver, so you're kind of just SOL in that situation. So we're probably not going to play the regular contract Arachne. Azuri, also not a bad pick. There's a lot of disruptive cards that exist in common, such as Humble and Cut Down to Size and things like that she can swap out. She also has new access to things that allow her to, create daggers, although I don't believe those are in the commoner slot. So what I'd like to do is probably just take a quick look here at the Assassin Commons and just kind of see where we are, right? Because all of these heroes outside of New all share the Assassin class. So if we just look at the common Assassin stuff that we can find, we have the contract cards, Annihilates, Bonds, Backstab got a downshift, the red Backstab got a downshift into common. A bunch of traps available in common too. You also have Desires of Flesh, some good dagger pumps as well for Assassin. You've got access to the traps, Intimate Inducements specifically for New, Isolate, Lair of the Spider, Malign, these Mark the Prey, Mark of the Black Widow, Mark of the Funnel Web, Mind's Desire, Pick Up the Point, Plunge the Prospect, Poison Blade, Reaper's Call. All of these cards came out and they're for Assassin, but none of them are specifically like create those daggers for Azuri, for instance. A lot of the cards that recently came out for Assassin are for pumping up daggers and or marking your opponent. And that was a lot of value. Like these 3 cards right here put a lot of value into only one specific hero. And that hero being Arachne Web of Deceit. Not only that, but Arachne Web of Deceit has access to 6 demi-heroes. So I believe that Arachne Web of Deceit is the better choice for Assassin. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be choosing our Assassin here is, in fact, going to be Arachne Wad. That is going to be our Assassin. So Arachne Wad. Now, I think I already have an Arachne War Commoner deck for this. Let me just make sure I have. I do. So I already have one set up. And this is Danger Digits, the Mark of the Huntsman, some Snapdragon Scalers, and effectively we come in with some traps, and then we just kind of like look to mark our opponent and pump stuff up here. So I don't think we need to get... We can pick up the points, but I think we're probably better off running the reds. I also don't know that we need all of these traps. And let's maybe remove a few of these blues here too. The Public Bounty and the Reaper's Call can probably stay, but we could probably go with a Frailty Trap, putting that in deck to assist against any of the weapon heroes. We also very well could put in the Blade Beckoner Helm instead of the Bunker Beard. The only reason I don't know that I like the Blade Beckoner Helm over Bunker Beard is that Like, if I have no cards in Arsenal, this card doesn't block anything. But if I do have a card in Arsenal, this card blocks for 3, probably, right? A Blade Beckoner will pretty much always block for 2. So I think maybe we'll go ahead and we'll play the Blade Beckoner Helm. And then we've gone ahead and we've just kind of swapped things out to where if we're going against a more weapon-oriented deck, we can play something like the Plating. We have all of our AB here. And we're running AB3 and then also Arcane Polarity. So not a bad situation here. I don't know that maybe we cut one of these. No, I think AB3 is fine. Because we're still looking for more blues too. Because blues are still something that we want to be able to do with this deck. Because we could mark them with these, but we probably don't really need to do a whole lot in regards to that. So let's look at the term mark. We should probably be playing attack mark hero. We could play tip off to discard, right? We could also play mark the prey again in yellow. We could be playing the rainbow of public bounty, which allows us to mark our opponent. Not a bad call, especially since it comes with a pump afterwards. Let's go ahead and then see what kind of blues we can do here. So in a situation like this, we are running Mark of the Funnel Web, running Mark of the Black Widow, Pick to Pieces, Razor's Edge, Scar Tissues, 2 sides of the blade. We got some more blues here. I would say we would need to get and like this isn't terrible because they need to block it or they get hit with it. It's blue block 3, so we can't really say it's a bad thing there. What else? Poison Blade, not a bad one to pick up either. And that might actually be our other card here is Poison Blade. Poisoned. Fun question. How in the world would you build Fang and Commoner? Oof. That is a fun question, Topple. I mean, it's probably just you have to add a little bit more blues. Although you might be able to redline it. And then effectively what you can do is you can just quite literally go, okay, cool. Block out with armor, swing for 8 to 12 in 1 turn, and then pass. But I feel like a lot of what you want to do is you want to attack with something that is Draconic first, and then attack with a dagger. That way you get more value out of the cards in your hand because they pump up something after the next Draconic chain. If that is the warrior we end up building, then maybe that might be what we do. But I don't know. Maybe Poison Blade's not it, actually. Hold on. Is it cost 1 and it blocks like nothing? I'd rather have blue block 3s, right? So I'd rather have blue block 3 assassin cards. So we can play other pumps or ways to create art. We could play blue Scar Tissue. Throw yourself at them might be like a cheeky little way to win a game. But it's not a 3 block. You know what? Maybe Infect. Maybe we just run the red Infect. I mean, we don't really need like a lot of this, right? I like Infect a lot. This is a fun card. But as long as we have like pretty much mainly outside of these public bounties, they're mainly assassin cards, so we're in a good spot, I think. Only Blaze Island counts in this instance. Yeah, actually, Scar for a Scar, but turning it Draconic sounds clever. Yeah, I would say, so like if we took a look, right? If we looked at talent, Draconic, and then class Warrior. We took a look at what we have here, right? These care if you have 2 or more Draconic chain links specifically. So in this situation, you're kind of like screwed if you don't have a high level of Draconic chain links, right? You have cards like, all of these cards can technically be utilized, but like this can only be played if you have 2 or more Draconic chain links, as well as Sisters of Fire. So Searing Gaze, Imperial Intent, Stabbing Pain, Blistering Blade, Dynastic Dedication, these are cards that are going to be like necessary for that, right? But if you take a look at some of the Draconic cards, now of course this is going to show up with like everything. Blaze Headlong, you could play Blaze Headlong and then play a Tooth of the Dragon to give Blaze Headlong go again, and then have your dagger come in for 5, and it be the second Draconic chain link where you can pump up other stuff there. You could also play things like Blessing of Vincerikai, where you take an off turn, play Draconic Aura, and then your next attack gets +3 and is Draconic. So theoretically, you could do that with something like Scar for a Scar. Ravenous Rabble is another good option, because then you can start your turn with a Draconic Ravenous Rabble for 7 into a dagger for 6. Not terrible, right? Outside of that, though, there's not too much Draconic specifically. Dagger would be 4. Tooth of Dragon pumps by 3, does it not? Or by 4, does it not? Am I crazy? No, just pump by 3. Stupid. Anyway, I don't know why I thought it was 3 or 4. But Tooth of Dragon, that's a card. So yeah, I mean, Ravenous Rabble for 7 into Dagger for 4 into, yeah, well, yeah, you get what I mean with the sequencing. If we're doing Blaze Headlong for 4, play Tooth of the Dragon, Dagger for 4, pump it to 7 or 8, like, pretty good. Then of course, if you take a look at some of the other cards that are Draconic, just playing things like For the Drakai is a great chain ender. So even if you can only attack with 1 dagger, give it go again, and then play For the Drakai, if you marked your opponent with something like Hunt the Killer or some other thing, like, it's a pretty good way to be just like, cool, free fealty, right? What is another card that we can utilize this? Could also play Hunt the Hunter. Because, like, I think in most cases, like, until you get your daggers online, you want to attack, dagger, attack. And then when your daggers are online, you can attack, dagger, dagger, attack. And that's kind of like the, the perfect play line, right? If we take a look at another... Exactly, right? That's still just value, right? It's still a good 0 for 4 that gets you points. If we take a look, what's some other... Smoke Out, great little mid-range card. Quite literally just allows you to be like, cool, block 3, mark you. There are cards like Stoke the Flames, but this is a Phoenix Flame card, so like you shouldn't bother with all that nonsense. And then, yeah. So I think that's pretty much it. You might want to play things like this, like Blessed Vincerikai, because starting off playing like an attack action and then into your dagger, and then having it pump your daggers by X, because that means that your Blistering Blade will now pump by 3, right? It's guaranteed to pump for 3, which is awesome, because that allows you to then have your dagger come in for, if you Blaze Headlong, Tooth of the Dragon on Blaze Headlong, pitch to attack with your weapon for 1, right? And then you play Blistering Blade, and then you can play Brothers of Flame on top of it. and now that dagger is coming in for +1 from the dagger, +3 from Blistering Blades for 5, +3 from the Tooth of the Dragon, so 8, and then +4 from the Brothers in Flames, so that's 12. So that's 4 into 12 on one dagger in the reaction step. And then if you have anything else, I think that's like all your resources. Those are like crazy kooky, like you get to keep your whole hand kind of turns, right? I think he ever builds Knife Through Butter in Commoner. I don't think that's a bad card to have. I think that Knife Through Butter is a pretty good... I think it's a pretty good card. Because it does what again? It's if they're marked, your next attack gets go again. Like, that's pretty good. Your next dagger turn gets +4, and then whenever you attack a marked hero this turn, the attack gets go again. I don't see why this wouldn't work. I mean, if your opponent is going to be marked, if you have ways to mark your opponent, you can even play things like Proclaim Vengeance, which is the card that if your opponent's Arachne, you get a resource when you mark them, but it's just a Draconic card that says at instant speed mark your opponent. So you could easily just be like, cool, okay, mark, pay 1, Knife Through Butter, 5 go again. But I think you're better off playing mostly things like Incision or Point of Engagement's pretty good. Because until the end of your turn, your attacks they get +1 while attacking a marked hero. Until end of turn, your attacks get +1 while attacking a marked hero, mind you. So that means that if your opponent's already marked, you can attack with that Blaze Headlong for 5. And then you get to swing your dagger for 4 or whatever. So, like, I think there's a world in which it exists, right? I don't want to say that it doesn't exist, but it might just take some work. Tip-off would be the priority. Yeah, Tip-off is a pretty good card to play. I think if I were, I think I'd much rather play Proclaim Vengeance though. Like, I think Proclaim Vengeance is a better card because it's at instant speed mark, just like Tip-off, but it's also Draconic. So if you happen to be able to, if your opponent says, okay, no blocks on this first one because it's only going to come in for like 4 or 2, you can Proclaim Vengeance, mark them, and then it hits, and then you get a fealty token. So it's not terrible, but you definitely do not want to fill up your deck with instants, and so it's kind of hard, right? Because, like, I just saw this, and I was just like, what in the world is that? I was like, I forgot the Adjudicator weapon. But yeah, so there's a world in which it happens, but I'm unsure, right? A lot of additional things there. So this is not terrible. What do our hands look like? Okay, we can Public Bounty, pitching an Infect, mark our opponent, come in with the Desires of Flesh for 3, and then we can pump it to 6 if they only block 3. Take a stab as priority. It's if they're marked, you get something, right? Take a stab. You may attack with additional time. No. Nope. It's a good pump if you're looking to like maximize the amount of damage you want to do on your dagger, but I don't think it's good. Because you're not gonna, let's be honest, you're not gonna get to do like crazy stupid chain links in Commoner. You're not gonna be able to do that. I feel like maybe there's something. Yeah, without any rares, like I said, effectively, you'll be lucky enough to do dagger, right? Be happy that you can attack with a dagger and then swing with your other dagger. But if you're trying to like maximize everything, you have to realize that you're probably going to be left with a 2-card hand. And what can Fang do with a 2-card hand? Well, if they have fealty up, if they have 3 fealty, they can do a lot with a 2-card hand. If they don't have fealty up, they have to pitch, attack with a dagger, fealty, or draconic attack reaction, pass, right? And then it's just their turn. So maybe get rid of Mark of the Funnel Web. I feel like this card isn't needed. I feel like I'd much rather run. How many more things can I run to mark my opponent? I guess, like, for a situation like this, I should play something like pick up the point. Red. Just because if I have to destroy my dagger, I can get it back. Like, I'll have the resources ask for it, so. So, yeah. Not terrible at all. Here, mark them. Banish. +1 damage can't be prevented. Mark them. Buff to damage. Mark them. Oh no, it's also a 0 for 3 with an optional thing that can't go wrong. Yeah, right. It's good. It's a good card. It's a 0 for 3 with go again, and the option to pick up something else. Let's go ahead and try running this. I'm curious if we're gonna get anybody on Talishar to try this out here. Give me one moment. Or if anybody has any decks they wanted to play, give them a shot. Commoner. Okay. So, effectively, we're just going to go ahead and we're going to try out the list. We're going to see how we feel about it overall. And then we'll kind of take it from there and see what we're going to do. I think that this deck has the ability to do some pretty good stuff. But I think we're coming down kind of to the wire of, like, Oasis Respite might be better here, because I feel like I'm playing a more mid-range game. I feel like Oasis Respite might be better in this slot than anything else. Terra. I don't want you to get a Might token early, right? So I go first. Yeah, no worries. I think we can keep everything here. Actually, I mean, we might actually do that. Yeah, let's just send it. Okay. So, send you attack a mark here, this turn the attack gets +3. It's pretty good. Yeah, let's just do that. Pitch here. We're going to give +1, and then we're going to attack with our dagger. We're going to come in for 4. 5 with go again. That's right. Because of Arachne's ability. That's pretty good. We could do this, or we could just mark them again. See if we get a D-react out of their hand. I could mark my opponent. I will mark my opponent. And then I will pass. And now I'm going to flip. Oh, they just... Okay. They gain 2 life. Ooh, yes. I will get to Draconic Trapdoor. Okay. Like, kind of good. I drew my other trap. We got to pick up the point, though, so it's not terrible. We could probably pick up the point, get our dagger back, play Reaper's Call? Oh my god, they're already popping Heart and Cross Trap? Fucking kidding me? Oh, because they've fucking got it, dude. There's no way they don't. We could block... We could block... three. Let's just see. I mean, like, obviously they're going to pump it, right? They have pummels in their deck. They're going to play it. Okay. So we can do this. And then also this. Quite a turn to get that going, honestly. We could... Yeah. We'll pay to retrieve a dagger. But they did get rid of... They're also not playing Goliath Gauntlet. Yeah, I mean, like, I did overblock, but I still get another point of value whenever I block their hammer, so... I mean... It is what it is, I guess. Okay, no longer marked. That's fine. Don't actually care. I'm going back anyway, so... We've got Scar Tissues, so we can see... You can easily dagger Scar Tissue, Star Tissue, which is kind of fucking crazy. Heart Concuss. Okay, so if I lose a card from hand here... If I lose a card from hand, it's Reaper's Call. So I could take 7, come in with a dagger that comes in for what? 3, 6, 7? A dagger that comes in for 7? Fuck it. I mean, if they're sending 7 and I'm losing a card, I could also... No. Just discard this. Okay. Dagger, send. Yeah, quite a hand of Scar Tissues. I don't know that I liked having an entire hand of Scar Tissues. We might need to look over our amount of I will then pass. Okay, we got the Orb Weaver. Pretty cool. Our opponent's marked, so we can do some crazy fucking shenanigans right here, actually. It's kind of cool. Thump. Okay, so we're going to get pummeled here. For sure. There's no way we're not getting pummeled here. Yep. Pay for 4. 7 dominate. Okay, so I lose a card in my hand if this happens, right? So... what card do we not need? We don't need... We want Black Widow. And then we can... Well, this pumps a dagger. So we theoretically want 1 to swing dagger. And then 1 to danger digits this dagger into the mark. I mean, I think that's fine. I think we'll just block 2 here, assume the pummel. Okay, no pummel. Good. At least you still have to discard, so... I guess if I got pummeled, I would have had to discard 2, right? So we're in a different spot. I can also discard a card to give my next attack with stealth +3, which is kind of good. But I don't have that, so... Pumped it. You have scar tissue. They are full blocking it. Okay. Cool, that works. Send this. Give me another card. Cool. Okay. Got a blue out of their hand. They have a might. And coming with a entangle. It's not going to be fused. This is just coming for 8. A lot of damage. I'll take 2. Actually, this is what I want. Because on hit, I get go again. Black Widow. Okay, we got thumped again. That's a pummel. I'm gonna get pummeled here. I have to block. It doesn't have more than its base, so we have to block more now. I'm gonna lose a card here, right? So if block 3 gets pumped to 10, I take 7 and die. So I have to block 6. Yeah, sure. Block 6. Yep, that's fine. Yeah, I don't know that we like beat the Guardian, honestly, especially because like their hand disruption is so much better. But yeah, we got both of our cards in our hand. We essentially just get to pass. So I guess I should have theoretically, if I knew the pummel was coming, I should have given my whole hand. That would have made more sense. Silly me. Silly me. That's what I get. What was pass? But yeah, definitely one of the situations where, like, I mean, if they have the ability to block out pretty well, ooh, an Earthlore Surge is going to be good here for them. Okay, mulch for 11. I don't know that I can block that. 3, 6, 9, 11. Literally exactly. So, all right, got a full block. Got Arachne Tarantula. That's actually not terrible. Interesting. I don't know that we come back from this here. Obviously, the Guardian build is just, like, kind of crazy. Especially with the amount of fridge they have. Okay, they're obviously pummeling, right? They've got that. If it hits a hero, their first attack this next turn gets -2. We know they're out of red pummels, which means the most they're doing is +2 with the blue pummel. If they're doing +2 with a blue pummel, this is coming in for 7. Which means theoretically I can keep a blue card in my hand and I should be okay. Okay, sniffed out the pummel. Bam, bam. I will then flick my dagger because I get +1 on it from my tarantula. Okay, they're pitching a card from their hand to block 2. I will be flicking. Cool, 2 damage. I will mark them. So they'll stay marked. And I'll pass. They still get a whole hand to do things here. Again, they do have the... That was a so tomorrow. Okay. That's pretty good. They get to put a freaking thump back on the deck? A mulch. Oh, because it's got to be elemental or earth. That's right. Mulch on the top of their deck. Or bottom of the deck. Concuss for 8. If this hits, they've got the 2 floats. So again, this is coming in for at least 10. We've got 3, 6, 9, 12. If I block 9 and pump it by 2, I take 1, and then I lose a card. So... I mean, fuck it, right? Like, they have it, right? That's what it's gotta be. Cool. This is for 4. Okay. So they had the sink below, of course. Good for them. And again, like, Assassin has never been very good in Commoner, mind you. So, like, it's not like they are in Classic Constructed. But this is a pretty well-suited level of hero, right? I mean, like, at this point, I just need to work around getting rid of, or getting around the blue pummel. So blue pummel is what's going to kill me. I have that. The mulch is coming in for 12. So I have to block 12 here. I don't think I can block 12. I can block 8. 10. Yep. I lose to that. So, oh well. It is what it is. Good game. Now, I don't know exactly what I could have done to be better there. Maybe the 2 blocks are a problem. Because I feel like I didn't really need this a whole lot. I feel like it was good to mark, but it wasn't like... I was able to mark pretty well with my scar tissues. These block for 2. I'd much rather have, like, other things that pump stealth attacks. And yeah, they had quite a bit going into this. A lot of front pumps. A lot of things to go into thump. A lot of blues coming in here. So, Terra, not a bad Guardian to be playing into for sure. Let's go ahead and just go back to here then. So we kept to pick up the point. Let's go ahead and get rid of... I still think the scar tissues are fine. Blue scar tissue, probably not needed. Reaper's Call, blue, that's fine. Public Bounty blue, probably not. Public Bounty red, maybe. Mark the Prey blue is fine. Public Bounty yellow is not good. So let's look at stealth, right? So stealth cards. We could play Backstab. I mean, Backstab is a great way just to kind of be like, come in for 3. You can't de-react this. Isolate is also another great card to choose. But in most cases, we're probably not going to see that played a whole lot. Prowl, of course, could see play, because if my opponent's already marked, I attack with this, comes in for 4, and then I can, if it hits, I get to come in with another stealth attack. But pretty much no other pumps outside of, yeah, no other stealth pumps in this. So a little lackluster in regards to that. We could play things like Nimbleism, which is probably a better card. And then we could play other cards like, what's another +3? Come to Fight. No, I'd much rather play the other one. Cut to the Chase contract card. I could just play contract cards too. Minnowism Red. That's not a bad card to bring either. Razor Reflex. That's a good attack reaction. Target attack action card with 2 or less base power against +3. No. So we're also kind of missing out on the disruption effect. So I'm curious in whether or not we can even make things like cut down to size work. There's no way there are +4 things in here, right? I'm not pummeling my shit. Yeah, because how many attack reactions do we have in here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 attack reactions. I guess that's not terrible. I do actually think I want this to be at least aggressive. Okay. Then pretty much I would say the next thing you want is probably a blue block 3. It's like a reasonable blue block 3 that's kind of insane to think about. I mean, Isolate's not a bad blue block 3, right? So but this is probably far more terrifying. So, okay. Not terrible. Let's go ahead and run it back. See what we got going. Luckily, we got that game pretty quick, so hopefully we'll get another one. And again, the overall premise is, I know that some of these classes just do not have the commoner support to be able to do well. I know they don't. But if we can at least build the best version of the class to be represented in Commoner, that's kind of the whole goal for me, to make sure that something like that is represented. We can do that too. Real. Okay. So I need AB2 here, I think. Ugh. Do I need AB2? That'll be fine, I think. Sure. We don't need Oasis. We'll be fine. Okay. Cool. So, we brought AB2 because Rosetta Thorn obviously is a card, right? And we can AB2 damage that it comes in from. We do have the Blade Beckoning Plate, which is good because it means that we can block the weapon. We can block Rosetta Thorn's incoming damage by 1. It's pretty good. I would say here in this situation, we can go ahead, we can pitch the pick up the point to prevent this AB. We have hit the high notes. I am going to AB 1. And then I am going to... They're going to attack with Thorn. Let's block with... Shocked Rosetta Thorn wasn't an elemental weapon. I think a lot of people did not expect that to be the case either. Like, a lot of people wanted it to be an elemental weapon, for sure. What's up, Ray? How you doing? I saw you were getting kind of bigger into Yu-Gi-Oh! And stuff. How's that going for you? We will AB 2. And I will just block 2. Cool. All right. Let's see what we get in our hand. Okay. 2 sides of the blade and a scar tissue. So theoretically, we can do this pitch, attack with 1, go again. I will then do this, give it +2, bring it up to 3 on hit mark. I'm going to mark them. I'm not going to destroy this. New blue eye strike shock tourney. Oh, nice. How'd it go? I guess I could theoretically attack with the dagger again, but I don't know that I want to. I think I am going to wait. I'm gonna park this in Arsenal. Okay, we got red back. Discard an assassin card. Target assassin attack gets +3. If it has stealth, it gets go again. Okay. So stealth go again is on one of these if we can discard it. More specifically, probably on pick to pieces. Okay, lead the charge, Seeds of Agony. Now, like, the fatigue plan could theoretically happen here. It looks like they're on a Seeds plan and not so much like a heavy Dirge build. Which means that they're probably not playing... Nice! Hell yeah, that's awesome. I will AB 1 here. I think I'm going to AB 1 with the... I'll AB with this. And then we'll block 2. Okay, Goliath Gauntlet, 9. Okay, that's a lot of damage, sure. Whoops, not fucking... Sorry, 7. That's fine. Take 2. Not too terrible here. I won't pitch any into that. I could theoretically block more of this here, but... I don't know how that got go again. Oh, because lead the charge. Never mind. 2 ghostly visits. Woof. Okay. Yup. Nimblism. Chain ability. Ghostly visit. Yep. 7. Go again. God, Chain is so good. Like, we might be able to kind of eke it out, but I doubt it. And especially not now. Good God. Yeah, no, we're just going to have to... Whatever they've got throwing at us is going to have to be it. Because we're going to have to try and, like, rip cards from their hand at this point here. So we're attacking a marked hero with 4. They're probably not going to care, but we're going to be able to bump it to 7. And then rip a card from their hand. So theoretically, in this turn, if they block with 2 cards to block this out, which they won't because they have 17 life. Okay. So, got a card from their hand. It could have been enough, but it wasn't. They do get to, oh, you know what? They get to banish the card, right? So they banish the Rune Rager Swarm. Well, they don't get to use it, so. Okay, Chain. Hit the high notes, come in for 6. I think we can comfortably block. Okay, we block 6. They're going to come in with either another Hit the High Notes from their hand or a Rosetta Thorn, probably Rosetta Thorn. So we've got 4 more on the back end here, 6 here. I can AB 2 and then block 2. So we can block out this whole turn. They've got 4 Soul Shackles. I will AB 2, then I will block 2. And like 4 Soul Shackles, pretty good, especially since they keep banishing stuff they can't seem to use immediately. So we're in an okay spot here, I think. A lot of reds in our hand, though, so we're probably not blocking any AB. We're going to see whether or not this Bounding Demagon comes in for 4. I will AB 1. Block this out here. And then I will just block 3. Fine. I'll try out the Commoner Fang deck. Sure. We can give it a shot. Deadwood Dirge. Okay. Rune Chance in the back now. Minnowism. Another one. We might be better off blocking 5 here, taking 2. Skip all Rune Chance. Oh, they can give it go again. We just die, right? Yeah. Yep. Yep. That's just it. Good game. Good game. Turns out, Chain is really broken. It's good. Good stuff. Probably no way we were going to win that directly. Again, like I had said, Assassin just does not have the value that we would like for them to have in... they don't have the value we would like for them to have in Commoner like we do in Classic Constructed, right? A lot more hoops we have to go through. I think maybe taking out the 2 blocks and focusing on a little bit more of a, you know, block effectively and then block effectively and then kind of go over and do some smaller little stuff, I think might be the better bet, but I'm not sure. But into Chain, I mean, like, this is mainly a red line deck, so I definitely don't think we end up doing anything good there. So that's cool. All right. Should be good. The final results. Yeah, well, I should hopefully have them all up. We're still on Assassin right now. I wanted to get games in, but I feel like I should probably build the decks before I actually start doing more games. Effectively, what I've done is doing that there. It's just kind of like getting everything set up in regards to what hero we're doing. Oh, Aggro! Welcome on in, bud. Good to see ya. Good to see ya. How's How's training for RTNs going? I see you're doing a lot of stuff over there for it. Hopefully things are good. Yeah, so as you can see on the top left of the screen, up that way, that is where we're looking at in regards to what decks I want to build for what classes. Pretty much right now, Merchant obviously is a meme, but I'm going to make it work. We're trying to figure out, while not every class does really well in Commoner, what is the best version of the class to play in the format, right? Assassin does not do super well. Arachne Warrior, I almost said Arachne Warrior of Darkness. I play too much Final Fantasy XIV. Arachne Web of Deceit is cool because they get access to the demi-heroes, but they're not exactly... Assassin just does not have the disruption that it does in Classic Constructed or even in Blitz. Clash, there's a little bit more to like work with, but in Commoner, without the rares, you're kind of missing out on a lot of really good reactions that just kind of like make the hero meh. So I would say that out of the assassins that exist, Arachne Web of Deceit is the best of the assassins currently, but you're really, I think it's just because you can attack with your daggers and they have a bunch of like front pumps here in this regard. So I don't know. There could be a way to make new have this happen as well, but yeah, it is what it is. Love the idea of the battle box. Never heard of it before, but I'm trying to do something similar for CC to get my friends into the game. Or for each hero, basically, ideally balanced well. Yeah, I mean, pretty much. Effectively, what we're doing here for this battle box is, and I mean, I guess I did just say it earlier, but essentially what is the case here is I wanted to at least represent every class that is available in Commoner, and kind of get an idea of just like a nice build that showcases the hero and kind of what it does, right? Arachne's never overrate without its rare. Exactly. And it's just it's not anything that you're expected to see a lot of. Do I think new maybe might have a better shot? Sure. But the only reason I do is because if you transcend, you can utilize new's ability to banish the top card of your opponent's deck, and in most cases it's going to be a blue. There's not too many decks that redline in Commoner, and so getting a blue off the top of your opponent's deck with new's ability mills them, right? But the downside is that you don't have any freaking cards that actually care about like a ton of value in that regard. The only thing I could even possibly think of that we do in regards to new is that we let me see here. Let me just see. This is the Rosetta version that I had up here previously. The only thing that allows her to do it, she's got better equipment, better pizza, Papa John's. She's got better equipment. You can run 2 Beckoning Mistblade theoretically if you wanted to, or you can run a Beckoning Mistblade in like a Spider's Bite, which is also not bad. She's very much more mid-rangey. These Intimate Inducements are a great way for you to go about getting cards off the top of your opponent's deck. So it's not a terrible card to put in here. Maybe I'm just like trying to feed away from new, but there are some times in which like the hisses, the venomous bites, like everything works out better because you have to have these lesser reactions or these higher blue counts in your deck to make that happen. And I'm wondering whether or not that might just be the better bet, because you're not going to be utilizing your opponent's stuff a whole lot. You're pretty much just going to be strictly like trying to mill them, right? Your whole concept is to mill them, which is why you're running Bonds of Memory and Desires of Flesh and Mind's Desire and all these Intimate Inducements. You're going to try to get cards off the top of their deck and hit them with it. So yeah, new does have real comments. So maybe for the sake of it, right? For the sake of what we do, that might be what we change here. Maybe we do make it new. And we can just change a couple of things. She is really good and does assassin things, right? And like, let's be honest, her hero power is like disgusting. So, argument for Azuri. Azuri is not bad. I would say we can take a look at Cost 2, power 6. Oh. Rarity common. Class assassin? Nothing. Generic. This is what we're working with here for Azuri. Azuri is not bad in her natural way there, but it's pretty much 2 spiders bites, and that's all you get to run. You can run the mark stuff, but like at that point you rather play Mario. And then of course you do have a bunch of interesting cards, right? Stony Wootenhog, not a bad card to play because it's got to be defended by less than 2 non-equipment cards. This could come in for 7. Not a bad card. Of course, you do have cards like Cadaver's Contraband, gets you a non-attack action card back in your deck. Cut down to size is really good if your opponent's an aggro deck and doesn't want to block. You can just say, cool, cut down to size, come in for 6, deal 6 damage, and have them discard a card. But of course, this also dies to like 1 D-React, and you take 2 damage, and then you don't have to do anything. Rally the Rearguard. You could utilize this in a defensive manner, which isn't terrible, I guess, because you can block for 5, but you're usually missing out on that attack ability. Fact-finding mission. When this hits a hero, you may look at a face-down card in their arsenal or equipment zones. Not really effective knowledge, to be honest. And then, of course, I mean, like, Rifting, but, like, Rifting's not going to do you anything there. Regurgitating Slog. That does nothing for us there. The problem is that, like, you could play Brutal Assault, and that's, like, the best on-rate thing you can do. But Azuri's very face-up, right? And I guess it is really come down to, like, how you want to go about doing it. Because I've seen it to where Azuris are bringing in, they're attacking with a stealth card, their opponent blocks 3, and then they flip, and their opponent goes, okay, cool, Think Below, right before that happens, and they play a Ravenous Rabble. And that Ravenous Rabble comes in for 5, which is really, really good, but, you know, you don't get a ton of value there. So all you're doing is kind of like bluffing, but there's not... Commoner players know there's not a lot of disruption in this category here. Like, there's damage, but there's not a lot of disruption. It's really this card and this card to recur things back into your deck. Every other card in this list is just like, cool, it's a 6 power card. So, like, it'd be different. The thing that would change this entire thing is if, like, well, I guess Real Renegade is not a bad one either. But if there were good on-hit 1-cost cards, if Death Touch were not a rare and it were a common, Azuri has it. I think Azuri is great. But there's a lot of cards in the rare slot that just do not have that kind of... They don't have that kind of capability to be able to do something like that. So, unfortunately, it just doesn't end up working. Let's see here. We could probably remove this and we can add in the Blade Breaker. Just a better card. No Rune, Arcane Polarity. We could probably just remove those and add Oasis, because sure, Oasis, Respite, inventory. And then pretty much we just want to kind of play cards that banish stuff from off the top of our opponent's deck. I don't know that we need Blue Withers. I think I'd almost rather play, just because like this does not do anything here. Pick to Pieces isn't bad to keep in there. Mind's Desire, good block. Exactly, yeah. It's a pretty powerful deck when you're able to make it happen, but it's just not like, it's just not common or efficient, right? It's a lot of rares, a lot of majestics. Okay, so theoretically we have other things we can add in here as far as reactions, right? We're running Intimate Inducement yellow, a good way to mill. This mills, this mills, this mills. This gets a card at the top. This could pump, this could pump, this could pump. We're running 4 of these. I feel like we need more blues, but probably not, honestly. Because like transcending is good, but it's not like our game plan, I guess, really. I think we'd much rather have things like just 2 card 5. Yeah, exactly. I mean, and that's pretty much like where we might even look into, because theoretically, right, what I can do is I can pitch a blue, come in for an Annihilate the Armed, and then attack with a Venomous Bite and have this Annihilate the Armed come in for 9. So it can come in for 9, on hit, banish top card of your deck. Blocks for 3, comes in for 1, not terrible. Of course, like, we could play Backstab, right? Defense reactions can't be played with the Chain Link. It's a stealth card. Theoretically, we can utilize this to pump up our stuff by a lot if we have more reactions that we want to add to it. Let's see. We could just, I think, like, even just playing the 0 for 4 banish a card off the top of your deck cards are really, really good. Because these are like your Leave No Witnesses, right? So you have your, where's the other one? The Sack the Shifty. And I could also play Incision, too. It's a 3-block attack reaction for Assassin that gives my dagger +3. That's not terrible. If I'm trying to attack with a dagger, like, that's pretty good. Infect isn't a terrible card to have in here. Again, Isolate's not bad. What else? Where is that card? Sack the Shifty. Yeah. Banish cards with Go Again. So we have cards that are non-attack actions and cards that banish with Go Again. So we could theoretically do that. We could also do Scar Tissue, but we don't want to do like too many reactions. Fang be like Incision. I mean, Incision's certainly good for Fang because like your daggers are your most of your value, right? But yeah, so like this hand, pretty okay. I mean, it's essentially pitch, attack with dagger, intimate inducement, get a card. Or well, we have to do this on attack, assassin or mystic attack action card. So we actually have to dagger and then come in with a bonds of or desires of flesh and then intimate inducement on top of it. Put the other intimate inducement on the bottom, banish those cards, and effectively just like continue to do our thing. Not terrible, like I said, not like a terrible thing to go about doing. I feel like AB2 might just be okay. Like AB3 seems kind of exhausting, but AB2 might be okay. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I don't know. I feel like the fealty creation in Fang is like crazy good, but it's also your downfall, right? Because like if halfway through the game you end up losing all of your fealty because you have to block, it becomes a god awful turn for you. But that's why you play Draconic attack actions also, so that way you can just come in with like a Blaze Headlong with no Go Again, but you could get to keep your fealty for the Drakai and do that. So I guess this isn't like terrible. I get to keep D-Reacts in here. Do you want to play into this here? Topples? Topple? I can get a private link. Yeah, true. True. All right. Anybody who wants in, I realize I can't type in this chat. So hold on 1 second. Let me get this here. Okay. Okay. Obviously, don't look at my screen. But let me go ahead and let's see. If we're doing this, we obviously want to keep that in. Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. Maximum deck is 40 cards. Oh, what? Get rid of this. Put this in here. Oh, I see. We have one of the. Ooh. Okay. I think we're okay. We'll see how we do. We will see how we do. If it feels better than Arachne Web of Deceit, we'll keep it. If it feels better than Arachne Web of Deceit, we'll keep it. But yeah, so for the battle box, you know, I don't plan to do like, I would like to theoretically do like 10 games with each of these classes and heroes into Talishar to kind of like get a better idea about things. But I'm not like looking to do anything insane in that situation, I guess. We will simply block 6. Nice. Okay. Pretty good. I am going to get marked. I only took 1. Okay. Cool. Pretty simple turn, I think, here. So, blocked with the boots. With the fur? Got the whole club looking at her. She hit the floor. I guess we probably would have had a better option doing something else, right? But okay. Yeah, we'll just do this. We'll get rid of the Searing Gaze, sure. And then just for giggles, we can do this. There's gonna be a red on top of your deck. Yeah. But we know what's coming. So, not terrible. I get to banish it and banish a card from your bottom. They don't share the same name. I banished a card. I get to go ahead and put this in Arsenal and pass. That's a killer. +3, +4. Unhit mark. So this is 5, possibly 8. So theoretically, if we block this, we could... I mean, we could let them hit. Not gonna get much value off of that. We could do this. We're looking at 8, right? So... Sure. Okay. That's pretty good. That's pretty good, gang. Huh. The real question is do I care? I mean, you're gonna get 3 fealty if I don't block. No, I mean, like, if you're online, it's whatever, I guess. I'd much rather do this. Okay, that feels pretty good. So that fridge is coming in. That's pretty good. Block the one. Smoke outs. I could this. I might. I don't like that I didn't get the block value off of it, but I think it's fine to get one card off the top, especially if it's going to be a card with base go again. Happens to be any of your non-attack actions. Ooh, a 10 of the spider. Okay. 2 D-reacts in hand. Interesting. Okay. Cool. 3 fealty. So your daggers are live. Mm-hmm. I might just say no blocks here. I will block this, actually. I will not do anything there, I don't think. You play Draconic. This is either a instant or it's something that's just going to pump a whole bunch here. Let's just get value off of this then. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Pretty good, I would say. Pretty good. I will do this. One more value off the Blade Beckoners. That's pretty good. So there's probably no blues in this deck, if I were to guess. That's right. Then let's just pump it. Cool. So we got to see what was on top. That was worth the banish, I think. I'd almost wonder whether or not we just, like, comfortably block out. There's no more armor left. +1. If I block this on each one, I pretty much fill them out. Sure. Okay, that's pretty good. Bunch of pumps. Yeah, that's pretty good. Ooh! And the For the Drakai. Yeah, some would say that's pretty good. 7 fealties. Jeez Louise. Dude, this might be the warrior we choose. That's pretty good. Now, granted, again, like we're down to the like assassin, you know, problem, right? Whereas like my disruption is nowhere near as powerful as like the disruption you see in CC, but okay. 9 on hit go again because of bolters. So can I block 9? Comfortably add that in there. Elshar? Alshar gave me a problem. You know what this deck could use? Sigil of Solace. It's too bad we can't play it. Also, Topple, if you are listening, you may want to refresh. Blood Run Wine. Of course, there's the 1 blue in your deck. Okay, coming in for 1. Again, we're kind of in a situation where we might be able to just do... This. I think the goal is to always block 3. Block 3 on the first one because it's probably an instant. Do this. I have to have the stuff for it, right? 8. Go again. You don't get to attack with anything else. Theoretically can take 2 here. Sure. Because we're both getting kind of down to the last parts of our deck, but like the front pumps on the dagger are pretty good, especially Sworn Vengeance. Like +3 on hit mark is good. Played another Goblet Run 1/1. That's pretty good. Ooh, excuse me. Okay. Yeah, let's see if we fall for this again, right? We'll do this. Play Fealty. Take a stab and Scar Tissue. Spit out. Five. And a spider. So we're surviving, but unsure for how long here. Oh. Oh, to kill her first. Okay. Oh, that's right, because you had a Vigor token. That's pretty good. Well, I'll go ahead and I'll block 6. Theoretically, no. Okay, so odd situation here. Here's the fealty. I don't actually, let me see here. 1. Jeez Louise, okay. I don't actually think I win here. I'm just gonna give your attack +1. And then I'm going to, we run into the situation where again, no blocks is pretty much the case here, so I wouldn't have drawn into it anyway. Sweet. Let's see. Yeah, well, let's just let's see what's on top of your deck. It's a red. Okay. Yeah. Definitely a loss there. we were getting kind of down to the wire, pretty much a couple blues in the deck, but not enough for new to be like useful in that regard. Yeah, it do be the Mystic moment for sure. And I think like I'm running every copy of the D-Reacts that I like, so it's again, like, don't get me wrong, I like your Fang build a lot, and I think it is effective, especially when I quite literally was just like, okay, like, gain a whole bunch of fealty, there's not really much I can do about it, because the downfall of Commoner is that, like, if you get that running, that's good, because I have to block at some point, and you were coming in for what, a pretty consistent, like, 11, 13 damage on a turn? Good morning from Northam, Western Australia. Good morning, Brian. How are you? Do you have a document or website I could read to get my bearings right about what cards are considered staples for my first foray in Commoner Fab? I do not have... I don't have my own personal document. Deck list? Yeah, go ahead and shoot me the deck list on Discord. Because I don't mind. I would rather have a talented warrior be in our warrior slot, because I think that played very well for what it was worth. I would say that if there are staples you are looking to get, you're probably, and I mean, in most cases, things that I personally run out of all the time is Think Below, red. Just the red version. You don't need the yellow or the blue version, just get the red version. If you have a ton of these, you can get a whole bunch of stuff for that. Fate Foreseen, again, same deal. You're going to want to run just the red. This is from Arcane Rising. Pretty staple stuff there. And then anything that says Null Runa is a good pickup. Those are the things that I tend to run out of really quick. It's just like these things. You'll notice that the one thing these all share is that they're all generic cards, which means they're able to be used within every single deck in the game effectively. No matter what class they are, any of them can use these cards. So it is effective to get these ones. As far as anything like Elf, most of the cards are pretty like straightforward. Again, you could look at, like, if you go to Fabrary.com, if you go to Fabrary.net, if you go to Fabrary.net and you look up by class, generic, and rarity common, you can take a look at some of the cards that I think are like staples in the deck. Arcane Polaries are great pickups because they allow you to gain life if you're going against an arcane deck. Battlefront Bastion is a great popper for illusionist decks, and also does well in preventing other damage. Let's see, what else? Again, the Fate Foreseens. Goliath Gauntlet's not a bad card to get. Finals Fighting Spirit's not a bad card to get. Heart and Crossstrap's not a bad card to get. The Ironhide stuff isn't bad. The Iron Rot stuff isn't bad either, theoretically. Although I'd rather run the frickin' Blade Break. Or not, the Blade Beckoner stuff that came out in the Hunted. Symbolism's a good card to pick up. Oasis Respite's a good card to pick up. And probably that's it. Ravenous Rabble. Razor's Reflex. Scar for a Scar. Pretty much anything. Like, honestly, you could probably grab a copy of like nearly every single one of these things and be like, good. No Null Rune on this deck. I'd swap it for one of the D-Reacts. Oh yeah, no. I mean, I think it's in a pretty good spot. I'll have to, we'll have to check it out when we get down to the warrior side. I think the deck ran really, really well. I think it was really, like, a really well done list. It came in for a lot. I mean, this is effectively what I expected to see from Fang. You ran a lot more D-Reacts than I expected, which I think was like an interesting thing. But your off turns were still play something draconic, right? So you were still able to utilize your fealty, and like the amount of fealty you got on that one turn where you came in for you pledged fealty and then Scar tissued into a fucking for the Drakai. Pretty good. Pretty good. This card also did you a lot of good things here too. And then the Blood Run Wine's not a bad card to put in here either. But like, again, New really cares about blocking and then like then disruption. Assassins just do not have disruption in Commoner at all, period. They just do not. They do not. And that's why I'm thinking like Go Tall Assassin is probably like the better bet to do, because to be fair, in most decks, I'm able to hit some good blues off the top. And more specifically, what I can do with Intimate Inducement is I can start ripping cards off the top of my opponent's deck. Easy peasy. I can just be like, cool, I don't want you to have that card. Put it on the chain. And then be like, cool, I get to get health for doing that. So I still think that New has the better bet for this, but it turns out it's just hard to do when you're presented with a lot of damage there. So New is not bad. We'll go ahead and we'll keep that there for New. I think I like this build. I think I might actually run... I might just run 2. The piercing's kind of nice, though. Right? Kind of nice. But, like, into decks that don't run attack reactions or attack actions, it's not good. So I'd almost probably rather run another Beckoning Display. I think it's just a better bet. Yeah, cool. Okay. Cool. Then we're probably chill with that there. What I'll go ahead and do is let's finally move on from that, right? I think we have a pretty good idea about what we wanted to do with New. Let's go ahead and let's put this in for the HNT season. So, HNT, and let's do Battle Box. New Commoner. Let's go ahead and update that. Okay. So, this is kind of what we got for New, and obviously we can change things out for individuals who are looking to make new decks. Let's go ahead and move on to Rhinar. So Rhinar is the next hero I want to build for the thing here. I don't know whether or not I have a Rhinar build already. I do. Let's make this for the Hunted. HNT. Battlebots. Rhinar. Okay. So what I have currently for Rhinar is a nice, pretty mid-range club build, effectively. It's coming in for a lot of stuff. Bonebreaker Bellows, being able to push a lot of damage here. Sink Bellows to give me a little bit more mid-range. Smashback Alehorn. Huge amounts of value. Smashback Alehorn. The only downside with this deck, I think, is the fact I have too many no sixes. Because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 cards out of my 40 card deck are not sixes. This is kind of not good because we want to have sixes in the deck for Rhinar's ability. Now, we could theoretically trim down some of these pumps, but the trick of this is not so much that the deck is hoping to get a 6 randomly. It is just a hope that we discard a 6. Because if we discard a 6 with this, whenever you discard a card with 6 or more power during your action phase, you intimidate. So really, it's the club pump that we're trying to do here. Because if we come in with an Awakening Bellow, we intimidate, next brute attack action card gets +3. We can come in with a Bare Fangs. If we miss, we still get it, right? But if we come in with a Bonebreaker Bellow, we can go ahead and beat chest, get that 6, use Reinar's ability, and then also come in with a Romping Club for, what is that, 5 plus 5, 10? Romping Club for 10 for 2 cards? 2 card 10? No, I guess it's 3, because I have to beat chest. 3 card 10, which is a bit more on rate. Some of these allow me to just like play cards for free, right? For instance, I can quite literally, if I have like a handful of 6s, I can just go, okay, cool, Heart Cross Drop, Wild Ride for free, draw a card, hope to get it, right? I feel like there might be too many pumps in the deck, and I think that might be where we need to change some things here. Power 6. So I need to probably add in a couple more things. The Assault and Battery is not bad, although it costs 3. Pound Town, Riled Up, Smash Instinct is actually probably not bad in here. We could probably get rid of the... Primeval Bellow might not be terrible because I don't need to discard the 6. Primeval Bellow might be okay to keep in. Primeval. I think really it might be Awakening Bellow that might be bad, because this is the next brute attack action. So we might get rid of... You don't play Assault, you pitch it and focus on playing Club. Yeah. Yeah, I would say that's probably the better bet. Yeah, that's what I figured too. I feel like I need to get rid of a pump. I'm probably going to get rid of Lead with Speed. I feel like I don't need that. But there's got to be something else we can put in here that's a 6. I feel like we're just a little too low on 6 of these. I guess we should do power equal to or greater than. So we could put in... I mean, we can put in another Wreck Around, right? Theoretically. Yeah, but like, I don't know that we're going again frequently enough, you know? Like, go again's good, but like in Commoner, I don't think you're getting to keep as many cards. I think if I was able to send Club for 8 to 10, or send any one of these attacks for 8 to 10, I feel like that threatens much more, personally. But we could always try it. I do also kind of like the concept of a Wage Agility, right? Because it blocks for 2. I don't know that I don't know I want to keep that. Exactly, right. Like in this format specifically, you kind of just want to assume what can you do with a 2-card hand, right? And so if my 2-card hand is try my best, right? And pitch to Bare Fangs and hope I don't get a whiff off the top of my deck, like, okay, right? That's a 2-card hand. I like that hand. That's a good hand. But if I get the opportunity to Wild Ride into Club, we're like gaming. We have a full hand, like 5-card hand. We're doing so good. Yeah, Wage Agility's, it's like, it's funny because it's the bait, right? And it's all about the bait because you want to put that in there. You want to attack with it. And it says, hey, by the way, you get to get go again on your next attack if you block this whole thing out, right? But if I hit you, I get an agility token. And if they block, like they could block with 1 card from hand and de-react and get an agility token, and that's pretty good. But if they have to block with like 2 to 3 cards from hand or 2 cards and a piece of armor, to get an agility token, they might not be able to like fully utilize that turn when they get the agility token. So I don't know that it's like amazing. So, and I like this because this pumps, and this is meant to kind of pump this, right? Exactly, right. Now, lead with power, the reason I think I added these in here is because I wanted to pitch a blue, come in with a lead with power, +3 to a guardian or brute attack, and then attack with club for 7, which is pretty good. Find out yellow. Find out yellow might not be a bad call. There are probably a lot of like generic cards that also fit this same route. Whoops, not class Fiendal, class generic. Like Brawnhide is kind of a funny thing, right? This comes in for 7, but if it's defended by less than 2 non-equipment cards, it comes in for 8. So it kind of like forces them to get another card. Again, Battlefront Bastion blocks really well. Findal's Fighting Spirit gets you gain to a life. Like, I guess like when it comes down to the Findal's Fighting Spirit, I think it's a good 6 to have, but I don't know that it is. I don't know that it's got like a sheer amount of value because technically, right? If you want to consider this, technically it blocks for 3, but it blocks for 2, and then if your opponent has an on hit, they get value. So it's an odd situation here. I might get rid of Bonebreaker Bellow Blue. Because I could just add in 6 power 3 blocks, right? Like, theoretically. We could just do 6 power 3 blocks, like Raging Onslaught. We could do frickin' Brutal Assault, right? And then my deck blocks and does pretty well in regards to discarding a 6. But is that the value we want? Theoretically, we want to do club. Right? Club is kind of our big deal. We want a club and we want to intimidate. So how many 6 power cards do we have in this deck right now? Oh, no, I was on the right page. 20. So half of my deck is over 6 power. The other half is not, which is not good. I don't feel like that's a good ratio. But again, our purpose here is theoretically to pump up brute, either the weapon or the attack. I think getting rid of Awakening Bellow might be good, but it blocks 3. And blocking 3 sounds pretty freaking good, especially if I can Awakening Bellow into Bear Fangs. Not terrible. Because then this can come in for 11, maybe, with a blue. I do feel that as long as our blues block 3, we're okay. Smashback Ailhorn being the exception. Smash Instinct blue might not be a terrible thing to add in here either. How much of the deck is top card 6 or just raw 6? It should be, I mean, it's half the deck is 6 power attacks. The other half is whiffs. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. I'm sorry, 20 right here. Is most of the deck building by intuition, or is there some math you're going to use to make the deck playable? 10 blues is the right amount because it feels right over his. So normally I go based off of like the theme of what I want to do with the deck. And sometimes you have to switch it around depending on how much. I don't look too much into the math. like super deep, but how much is draw off top into the 50-50? I don't know how I'd calculate that theoretically, but yeah, it's kind of just the first thing you want to decide is what you want the deck to do, right? And while it might seem that like a lot of these attack actions are what I want to do with the deck, they're a nice backup, right? But theoretically, the real thing I'm looking to do with this deck is intimidate my opponent's hand once, maybe twice, and then attack with Romping Club. Because Romping Club is going to come in for 5 if I discard a 6th. And then, on top of it, it's going to get the buff of whatever the heck I play. So, for instance, Primeval Bellow. 0 cost, free block. There's an additional cost to play this, you discard a random card. If that random card is a 6, Reinar's ability will activate. My opponent will randomly put a card from their hand to the banish zone, which means that they don't get to choose what card they want to block with. If I get their D-React out of their hand, they can't block with it. And then, because this pumps up your next brute attack, which is +5, then if I discarded a 6, this Romping Club would come in for 10. Not to mention that if I played anything else on top of it, like an Awakening Bellow, this would intimidate them again, right? So if I played Primeval Bellow, I then played Awakening Bellow. Well, Awakening Bellow is not going to matter on this. Don't worry about what I just said there. That's why I'm kind of thinking about taking Awakening Bellow out and putting that Lead with Speed back in. But let's say we play Lead with Power. This is another +3 and it creates a Might token. So then, if we discarded a 6 with this, that means that we then get to go ahead and we can play Lead with Power with a blue. Attack, give it +3 and then +5, +8 onto 5. That's 13 damage. That's 13 damage on a weapon, which allows us to save cards in our deck and mainly attack with this weapon. The downside to this is that I also want to make sure I'm getting my Reinar triggers off. So in a situation like this, especially for Brute, I'm almost thinking that it's just slightly better that I get to like maybe like 24, 26. 24 or 26 sixes in my deck, just because Reinar's ability cares about that, right? Your pumps need to be 1 cost to avoid discard problems. Yeah, true. They do need to be at least 1 cost, but like Awakening Bellow only does attack action, right? And again, the reason this deck becomes so much more powerful if we were able to utilize the significantly better version of that card, which is a Barraging Beatdown. Barraging Beatdown is, by and large, the best Brute pump in the game, because it's a 0 cost and it's a 3 block. And your Brute attack action this turn, or your Brute attack this turn gains, if this attack is defended by less than 2 non-equipment cards, it gains +4, and I intimidate my opponent's hand. So I get to intimidate my opponent's hand, and then I can utilize an ability of something else to discard a 6 to intimidate them again. And then I get to come in and attack. Now, theoretically, they can block with 2 cards and remove this 4. But that also means that I effectively get to rip their cards from their hand, right? So, how many blues do I really need? I mean, like, not a ton. I'm not running an absolute ton. I would say, if anything, I'm going to get rid of... I'd say getting rid of those, and then getting rid of... I mean, maybe even the Smashback Alehorn, because these aren't, like, crazy value. Let's look at... Power 6. Let's go ahead and add in an Assault and Battery. And then let's also add in... I mean, this isn't a terrible thing to swing for nothing, right? Oops, power greater than equal 6. We could put in another windup too, which isn't terrible either. If we want to do like red windup. So now we have 24. Right, and now our turn can effectively be, right, play Bonebreaker. Well, like this turn is kind of crazy, right? So we can play Bonebreaker, pitch Assault and Battery. Don't beat Chest. +2. Then we can Primeval Bellow, discard a random card, that card being synced below, still have 2 float. We can then attack with Romping Club. It's +7 onto my Romping Club, coming in for 11 damage. And I lose a sync below. So 11 damage, turn 0, not terrible, right? So this hand, let's just assume we block with the sync below here, right? Block with sync below. Our hand here, we have... Technically, we can go ahead and we can discard a Mighty Windup to utilize Reinhar's ability. Get a Might token. And then we can swing Romping Club, pitching this. Yeah. Not as, I don't know, not as much value there. Maybe the swing, Savage Swing is not, and that's kind of just mainly there for being a 7. Block 3. It's commoner? Yeah, it is commoner. It sure is commoner. It sure do be commoner. +4. What is this? Only if you discarded a 6 or more this turn, your next brute attack gets +4. So Rumble Grunting theoretically could be something fun, but discard Mighty, block mid-range, using the sync below and Savage Swing into club for 5 Might. Yes, yeah, that would be... And technically it would be discard Mighty, block... Because I'd probably want to just discard the Mighty on my turn, so I can get the Intimidate trigger. And I can bring it to 5. So if I can discard the Mighty on my turn, pitch to attack with... block with Sync Below and block with Savage Swing, and then... pitch Agile Windup for 5. Like, I still get the Might token for next turn. I intimidated them, and then I also swing value there. But I don't know. A lot of interesting tactics for this, right? So, but Primeval Bellow is good. Awakening Bellow can do something there. We kind of want to try to go either, our turns are either 1 cost, 2 cost, or yeah, I don't know. Which value would you argue that Intimidate is worth? I mean, it's at least 3, right? But more importantly, I think the reason that I like Intimidate so much, and I want to kind of like keep more of a focus onto it, is strictly because of the fact that intimidating means that if my opponent is sitting on a really good block card, a Sync Below, they can't block with it, right? If my opponent is playing, if my opponent has cards in their hand that they want to keep, and I put one of those cards that they don't want to keep, that they were looking to block with, into the banish zone, that means they have to start blocking with their cards that matter to them. And I feel like that happens more frequently than not, which is why I kind of put a lot of focus on that Intimidate. Is because I can quite literally do that, right? I can just go, okay, cool. I'm going to play Bonebreaker Bellow. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to discard this 6. When I discard this 6, my thing's going to trigger. You now only can block with 3 cards, and I'm coming in for 10. And even like later in the game, Pack Hunt, right? If your opponent's at 2 life, you intimidate them. They now have, again, like they're given, it forces them to block differently. And so like it's almost 4, maybe even sometimes 5 points of value, if that is the case. Exactly, right. Assuming it's not like the most insane thing, like, okay, cool, they weren't going to block anyway. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, barring that, I want to be able to run anywhere between 8 to 10 to 12 damage, right around there, every turn, with the pumps that I have. And gaining might, coming in with Bear Fangs, doing Wild Ride shenanigans if I need to go wide, coming in with Predatory Assault to give Dominate, right? I can go ahead and I can pitch a... I can discard an Agile wind up on my turn, intimidate my opponent, and then play Predatory Assault and have it come in for 6, Dominate, right? Like, pretty good. But I think the thing I want to avoid is crazy, like, all red hands, effectively. Because let's see, like, what the worst situation is here. Let's just try it again. Okay, so like this, right? Like, in this situation, how do we work this? 2 1 costs, a discard 6, and a Primeval Bellow. So theoretically, you look at this hand, you can go Primeval Bellow, discard a random card, pay 2 into Romping Club for probably 9, right? So it was a 4-card 9. Or, right, you could set up. You could pitch Mighty Wind Up, intimidate your opponent. You can play lead with power. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's not even block 9, block 8. This is poor. Like, this is not great. So, in theory, we could try sending 9, right? That's like literally our best thing, right? Is that if we just play Primeval Bellow, if we happen to block, if we happen to get the Mighty Wind Up in the discard, we get an Intimidate, which is cool. But even still, we have to swing, and we end up swinging 9. On turn 0, that's whatever, right? On turn 0, blocking 9, you give them 3 cards they get to filter out of their hand, probably 4 if they want to block the whole thing, and then you're good to go. Now, another thing, again, we could do is we could simply just arsenal the lead with power, keep these cards in hand, and see what comes next. If a blue happens, we're in a good place. But of course we have to block. But a yellow happens. So we get a yellow, 3 reds. We end up doing Bonebreaker Bellow, pitching the Agile Windup, discarding the Mighty Windup, coming in for +5, and then intimidating, and then attacking with Romping Club. And then, or well, I guess we could pitch for the Might token as well. So it'll be 3 + 5, 8 + 5 is 13. So we'll be able to do 13 on that turn if we keep our entire hand. In that situation. With 1 yellow and 3 reds, we can come in for 13. Not terrible, I guess, theoretically, right? Values fairly okay. But if we consider like a hand like this, right? In this hand, we could do quite literally the same thing there. We can go ahead and we can pitch Romping Club to Bonebreaker Bellow. We can Bonebreaker Bellow, discard a Assault. Yeah, we'll discard a Predatory Assault, right? Discard a Predatory Assault. And then have possible with 2 float, right? So like theoretically we could do this into this, and we can Bonebreaker. We can even Bonebreaker Predatory Assault, have it come in for 9 Dominate. If we really wanted to. No, wait a minute. What the hell am I talking about? This costs 2. That is what we're doing. So Bonebreaker, pitch Wrecker Romp, 2 float, discard Assault and Battery to this, +4, attack with Predatory Assault, and we intimidated. That's 9 Dominate. 9 Dominate, we intimidated a card from their hand. Good stuff. That's, of course, we get to keep the whole thing. Next hand. What do we do here? Let's just assume we block 3. Right? If we're blocking 3 here, we're probably going to be blocking How would we block here? Yeah, weird, not terrible. Yes, that's right, the Might token. Yes. Down for 10. Here, this is an interesting hand. I would say here we very well could just... We'd have to block 3 somewhere, probably, right? Theoretically, what we can do with this hand is we can simply just pay, pitch, pay, pack on. And we can come in for 9, double Intimidate. Which means they can only block 6. Which means we get to leak some damage through. So, not a terrible line. I feel like there might be some work that need to be done here. And I guess the real question here is, can another Brute do it better? Right? Levia probably can't do it better. KO might be able to do it better because he's able to have his blues be 6s, which is really good if we're trying to come in with some crazy shenanigans with Bonebreaker Bellow, right? And that might be enough to swap that over, because the Intimidate's cool, but we don't get the entire value of what effectively is a proper line, right? We're missing puzzle pieces in this situation. So Rhinar might not be the GOAT, and KO might be. Because if we put KO on, like, Ballbreaker, right? This is for 4. If we were able to go ahead and do the exact same thing as Club for a little bit more, like, it'll come in for 4, and then it'll get the value. So it's technically 1 point of value lost in Club, but we get to utilize that. And we can also utilize things like Go Again with Mandible Claws and you know, go maybe do a more go wide concept with KO as well. So Palm Ballbreaker, yeah, no kidding, right? KO is almost Powercraft Rhinar a large portion of the time. And it might be the case. I mean, I might see, like, I'd be curious what we have in regards to, let's do some searching here. What other individuals have made KO decks for Commoner? Because, yeah, KO only having one hand kind of feels bad, but it's also not like the end of the world, because the upside is that all of his blues are 6s. Like, the 5-cost blues that you have to get rid of are 6s, which is really, really good. So let me see here. Heavy beginner trio. Is this just heavy cards in here then? Let's see. It is not all heavy cards. There's pummels in here, which is kind of crazy to me. Pack on Smash Instincts, Salt and Batteries, Lead with Speeds. Blue Lead with Speed is kind of interesting to me, but I guess sure. Maybe not this build, because they don't have like the best looking armor here. This is the Dumpster Dive build. Ball Breaker, right? Ball Breaker KO, pretty good. Also, mind you, KO gets a better helmet. That's the other thing too. KO gets a better helmet. And that might actually just be enough to push him over to becoming the brute that we want to play. Because a Temper 2 helmet, pretty good. Rhinar only gets a Battle Worn 1 helmet. So Temper 2 is pretty good. And the concept of like, it's also just kind of fun to be able to know you can like destroy this and possibly get 6 cards in your hand, right? So like Gauntlet of Might, like these things block, but I don't think they're like worth the stuff here. The Rumbles are interesting. The Battlefronts are interesting. I don't know what the purpose of this build is, though. It's just quite literally just you're discarding a 6 at like all times. It's probably very Bone Breaker Bellow into Ball Breaker, which is pretty much exactly what we want. So, and then you also get a Might token. I think maybe just the amount of hero text on KO is enough for probably me to want to swap the Brute to be KO. As much as I love Rhinar, I think KO might just perform it. Just because I get more opportunity to do this. So let's see. Let's go ahead and make a Battle Box KO. So we got Commoner, KO, not Berserker Runt. Save it. Yeah, and that's the thing. If we're looking for consistency, it certainly does the job. So I would think that consistency is going to help. Warrior Fangwarrior. Yeah. Actually, that's not bad either. Because like, there could be opportunities where other warriors, like Kasai, might not even be a bad one to do. But I think Fang at least like presents that aggro level we're looking at here. Our Guardian, I think the Guardian is the only thing we're missing. I'm tied between doing either Terra or Oldhim. And I feel like Oldhim might just be like the better choice. But Terra being able to make a Might token and then just do a bunch of thumps and concusses and things and run pummels might be better. Whereas Oldham's a lot more like fatigue. That's kind of stuff here. Ball Breaker's not a bad build. I don't mind playing Ball Breaker. Beaten Trackers is good. Barkbone, probably not. We're definitely gonna run the headpiece here. And then we're gonna run the what the hell do you call it? Heartened Cross Strap and Goliath Gauntlet. That's just good. Yeah. Valda is a M hero, not able to be played, unfortunately. Yeah, and Terra also being a first strike deck, I feel like is probably more incentive to do that, just because. So Terra. So we know who we're getting. We know what our list is. We just need to make them now. Right? It's the only thing we need to do. So let's see. Let's get the good brute cards. Excuse me, gosh. Good brute cards. Let's run Agile Windups. Let's run the... Probably don't need Awakening Bellows. Let's run the Bear Fangs. Let's run our Bone Breaker Bellows. Let's go ahead and run some Lead with Speeds. Let's get some Pack Hunts in there. Some Predatory Assaults. Some Mighty Windups. Actually, there's a world in which this card gets in there too, because it's a 6. Discard a random card. The discard card has 6 or more power. Madcap Charger has go again. Yeah, not terrible to go into stuff. Madcap Charger probably wouldn't be bad. Figuring him out, and I'm like page 11 of writing ideas in general call. My gosh, you have a document on him? I don't get around to writing documents. I guess I don't like spend as much time. Like I pretty much make the deck. I play like 5 games, and I'm like, this is doable. And that's just like all I do. But Primeval might not be terrible to do here. Yeah, Madcap Ballbreaker's a 3-card thing. Well, 3-card. It's a 3-card 9. Well, you also probably have the Might token up, so. Agile wind up again. Also Wild Ride, red. Bonebreaker Bellow. Writing out play lines has been cursed. Jeez Louise. Well, hopefully it's not like some end of the world situation. Some more agile wind-ups. Let's run... Not Bear Fangs. Where are you? Where are you? Wreck-a-Romp. Smash Instinct. We can run Smash back in this deck. We can run... we can run Riled Up. Although, yeah, I mean, it's a 3-block. A 3-block blue. That's a 6, technically, so. Get Mighty Windups in here. And then maybe we even do... We've got a decent amount of blues. We need definitely more reds, so let's just get more red. This is a 3-card 10. If anyone wants to do a specialize into punishing one of the opponent's hero struggles. Yeah, no, I mean, like, there's certainly there's an interesting way, because, like, you can... What I've seen as far as play style is, like, you play the first dagger, you play an instant. And your opponent, like, overblocks or, like, they do something, you play an instant. It's just now a 2 power go again. And then on the second dagger, you come in with, like, 3 attack reactions. And, like, a bunch of fealty generation. It's like, oh, okay, sure. I guess that's what's happening. What am I doing here? Can we do cost? Cost 2? I mean, this is, I guess, just good if we end up having to do the thing. Oh, it doesn't block, though. Ooh, ew, ew. Well, I guess, no, not block. Yeah, Bonebreaker, Bonebreaker, and then we could threaten more disruption. Theoretically. We've got all the agile windups in here. We've got might tokens. Yeah, absolutely. There's, I mean, he's still far too new for me to be like, oh yeah, that's such like the like the best, the best hero, but like definitely a lot of there's just a ton of how do I say this? A ton of value just overall in being able to kind of like read your opponent and know what your lines look like. Because if you know what your lines look like, if you pick up a hand, you know what your lines look like, you're like, okay, I think I can make this work. But if you don't, it's like, oh, okay, I guess I just kind of figured it out. Do we run Wild Ride? We could. I think I'd almost rather run Pack Hunt. Or Bear Fangs. Yellow Bear Fangs might actually be better because it comes in for a breakpoint. Yeah. He definitely does beat Rushdown. Because I mean, if your opponent doesn't block, you effectively just go, okay, cool, like 13? Casually? And it's like, oh, shoot, I didn't expect you to actually do damage. It's like, yeah. And like, especially if you can get like the hand that gets you to 3 fealty. If your first 2 turns net you 3+ fealty, your deck is piloting the way it should. And the other thing is like, there's no way to really like deny the fealty. You know, like you cannot deny fealty. It's gonna happen. Like you attacking with a Fourth of Drakai, you are gonna get a fealty. When you play the Pledge Fealty instant, you're gonna get a fealty. Like you cannot deny the fealty that is going to occur. You're gonna get that token. Yeah, you know what it is. Okay, I mean, this isn't a bad start here. I think the real question is, do I go hard enough to where I don't care about AB? Like, does it matter? Kano has 15 health, Icelander's got 18. Verdance is at 20, but Verdance doesn't do nasty things like that. What are the odds that we do crazier things? Also, what are the odds that we just play Mandible Claw instead of Ball Breaker? I mean, this is a breakpoint, so all the fealty before it actually gets to go. Yeah, exactly, right. Verdance isn't real commoner. Pummel Verdance is kind of a funny thing. Is Pummel Earth Verdance? Neither of the Earth heroes are... Like, Terra is probably, like, the best Earth hero in Commoner, outside of maybe, like, Briar and Oldham. Right? Okay, I think I'm okay here with this. I think we just need to... I mean, like, I guess if Oasis is going to be the thing that kills us, like, we'd rather run it. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I don't know. Do we like mid-range it almost? No, I think we have enough blues. We might just be able to... What is it? 5 cards I'm missing from this? So I need 5 cards. Let's maybe get... What's the meta for this? We could get more cards that block. We could probably even put this and this in there. And then maybe even AB3, right? Oh, for sure. For sure. For sure. But Terra, I think Terra is at least like because that's the thing is being able to utilize those attacks that disrupt if they have more power than their base, especially when you look at cards like Thump. I mean, Thump is just like the key Guardian card in Commoner, and like for you to just be able to go like, okay, cool, destroy one of my equipment pieces, 8 dominate, on hit discard a card. Oh, I also have Pummel, 2 cards. Pretty good. And there's no like janky CYB tactics that came out of this here either. I mean, like, I guess we can EB boots, gloves, headpiece. Yeah, probably. So no room. Maybe we just respect boots, gloves, headpiece. Okay. Sure. That'll be fine. So yeah, so what's this line looking like now, right? Yeah, Thump is just, it's a good card. The fact it's a common is crazy. Like, it's good. You also get access to things like Macho Grande and like all this other stuff. It's very, very good. Let's see, Madcap Charger. So this hand, interesting. Maybe the Primeval Bell was kind of bad here. Well, I guess if we Primeval Bellow, I don't have a. Okay, let's go ahead and let's Primeval Bellow, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got a D6 here. I've got 3. So this gets discarded at random. So now I have this and this. So that's actually crazy good, right? Because that's, well, no, it's not, because we can't play this. So essentially, we play Primeval Bellow. Fish Blue Madcap. Yeah, well, I mean, like, if Madcap doesn't catch Primeval, and also, like, because, like, so if we got this, right? If we pitched to Madcap, we'd have 2 cards in hand. One of them a miss, one of them a hit. So theoretically, we're looking at, that's what we should look at, is that it's a 50% chance. So odds or evens. So we got odds. So it turns out it was this anyway. So that's good. Yeah, Madcap is a 1. Madcap is a 1. That is true. So, like, theoretically, what you could do is you could pitch Primeval Bellow into Madcap Charger. This is probably what you do. You pitch Primeval Bellow into Madcap Charger, discard a random card. Both of these are 6s. And then you use whatever is left over to pitch for Ball Breaker. And you come in for 5 and 4. That's 9, right? That's what we're... Perfect world. Save those. Do the thing. I think you know what? Primeval Bellow might not be the choice. Primeval Bellow might not be the choice. It's a nice pump, but it does not do... Yeah, plus a might. Like, would I rather just have like a 7 cost card? Like a Madcap Muscle? Like, at least if I play this, I discard a random card, I get to have it come in for 9. I still need 3 cards in hand for this. Well, yeah, leave it speed would be better for sure. Mm-hmm. Madcap Muscle might be kind of fun, right? Some more very heavy power stuff. So like this hand's interesting, right? Like this hand quite literally is just like send Bear Fangs. Right? Like send Bear Fangs, draw, discard one of these, you're good to go. Okay, you'll draw into one of these, all red. And then we'll have Rekarov, Agile Windup. This is just an awful hand. But we will draw into the Bonebreaker Bellow. So technically we can Bonebreaker Bellow, pitch, get rid of one of the 6s, have the... We can even attack with the Agile Windup, have the Agile Windup come in for 11, 12 with the Might. Pretty good. Not bad. I think it's fine. I think it's fine. I think there's enough blue to go around. There's enough... It's all 6s. The whole deck is 6s, so not terrible. Okay sideboard. Sure. Because the real question is I'm wondering whether or not Mandible Claw would be better. But we'll see. Okay. Pretty comfortable with KO. I think KO's fine. So KO's good. So Battlebox new. Battlebox KO. I didn't put Hunted. T. And then we'll probably just make this. Probably just leave the deck. Too much thinking. Spent too much time thinking on that one. Then let's take a look. We're gonna do one more deck. And then I probably should get offline and try to make some other videos. I don't know why we couldn't get through every single one of these here, but let's try and make a Terra deck, huh? I think I actually, you know what? I think I might already have one. Sorry. I don't know why I think I wouldn't have one. Settings. T. Battlebox. Terra. Okay. No real card changes here effectively. We're playing Sledge. Cadaverous. The Autumn's Touches. Concuss. Crush the Weak. Earthlore Surges. Fate. Pummels. Thumps. This is pretty solid list. Actually, we might take out the polarities. I think this is a deck that is okay pitching. Oasis Respite, but this is a pretty solid build, I think. Being able to play Hardened Crosstrap, Goliath Gauntlet, Thump for pitch 2, Thump for 8, Dominate, on hit, banish card value. Right? Even one of those allows you to change the entire tide of the game. The only thing I might not love is Earthlore Surges, but we have what? We have Earth. How many Earth cards? I should just check. 18 cards are Earth. So, I mean, not terrible. Now, the real question is this extra point of block value worth it to run something like Steelblade Buckler? Because what I can effectively do is I can get rid of this and I can just run Steelblade Buckler, and the Redwood Hammer. which aren't terrible choices. It gives me a more aggressive package and then off there. I need to hop off my brain. All right, sounds good, Toppa. Well, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for chilling with us. I think this is I think we're doing pretty good as far as like building our decks here. I know that luckily with our Enigma build here, our Dash build here, our Ira build, our Azalea build, our Chain build, and our Icelander build are all like pretty much already made. So I shouldn't need to worry too much about like trying to get those all taken care of and done with, which is great. It's really, I think, like the one thing I want to do on stream while we're here is I want to make a cavity deck. I want to see whether or not, I think this is fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with this build. I think that this is fine. And we built this previously too. So we've got that. So what I need to do is I need to build cavity. And I don't know whether or not this is going to be an interesting build. I don't actually even know what this hero does. Cavdane. Commoner. What do you do? I have some advice for Olympia and Commoner. Olympia, actually, pretty good build for Olympia is to play the Decimator Great Axe. Decimator Great Axe is the Decimator Great Axe. This build here, effectively, it's just because you're utilizing all these cool wager cards already. So you get to have gold to pitch your blues to whenever you win wagers with Olympia. But Decimator Great Axe is a fantastic build for him in common. Very powerful axe, of course, too, because you pay 3 and come in for 4, but you're really coming in for like 7 to 9 in most cases. And then also you get to have the base power of the defending card, the first card that defends this. So pretty good. So even if you attack for just 4 and your opponent's like, oh, I want to clean block it and block with the D-React, they'll only block for 2 and they won't block for 4, which is really good. Okay. Let's take a look at Cavdane, Trader of Skins. What do you do? Pay 3 resources. If a hero has more life than any other hero, they lose 1 life and create a copper token. Then if that hero has less life than any other hero, they gain 1 life. Go again. So he's got no hero text. 3 resources, and you can deal 1 damage to your opponent to drop them below. So theoretically, you can pay 3 to ping them, but they get a copper token. That doesn't really matter. Copper is not used here. But if a hero has less life than any other hero, they gain 1. So it looks like effectively, because it's if a hero has more life than any other hero, they lose 1 life and create a copper token. So what you're doing is you're evening these odds, right? You pay 3 resources. If your opponent's at 12 and you're at 10, they lose a life, you gain a life. And you're good to go, right? Then, so that way, if your opponent has like a pretty solid lead, you can pitch 3 and do this as a once per turn action. It's not terrible, I guess. But let's go ahead and let's just assume that we're not going to be crazy about this, huh? So there's obviously no merchant cards that are in common, don't exist. So we're only stuck with generics. So what do we run? I feel like this guy's for the PvE mode that never came from LSS thoughts. Yeah, no, merchants are definitely joke classes. Like they don't have any support. They're all just like, they came out in, I think Cavdane was the first one to come out in Crucible of War, and then the other one came out in Everfest. Genus What You Need came out in Everfest, and then they came out with another one just recently, Squizzy and Floof, that is a like Santa essentially, that they came out for like a fun. Like these heroes are not meant to do good, but I mean they are heroes nonetheless. The only weapon we can play is Talishar. We could probably run. Let's just main deck these guys. Actually, let's take a peek at what we got going. Generics, reds. We want good red generics, right? If you have less life than opposing hero, this gets +3. Theoretically, Adrenaline Rush, 2 card 7, not terrible. We want stuff that blocks 3 pretty well, I would say. Brutal Assault's a pretty good card. Cadaver's Contraband's not a bad card. Come to Fight allows us to pump. Critical Strike, not a bad card. Cut down to size, pretty good. Fate for Scenes. Freewheeling Renegades is an interesting one. One for 6. Finals Fighting Spirits. We're gonna get some Minnowisms in here, some Nimblisms in here, some Oasis Respites in the board. We'll go ahead and maybe get Performance Bonus is kind of funny. Ravenous Rabble. Dagger or Sword? Talishar's a sword, right? Sword. We could give Talishar +3. It's kind of crazy. What else? Sink Below for sure. Scar for sure. I'm just choosing like all the good generic cards that exist in the game. Kind of going with those. Figure we have like a lot of reds though, so I think we maybe need to look towards more of the blues right now. So let's take a look at what we got for blues. Blues, we want to block 3. We have block 3 blues. We do. Brutal Assault blocks 3. Critical Strike blocks 3. Nip at the Heels, kind of funny. Put it in context. Blocks 3. Titanium Bauble. Why not? Trot Along, not a bad way to go ahead and do that. Next attack with 3 or less base power gets go again. Actually, that doesn't matter for us. Oh, hold on. Oh, God. That was a lot. Wounded Blow. I guess like this isn't terrible either. Okay. So we've got a decent amount of blues. Our reds are pretty okay from what we can tell. Probably can just run the rest of reds. So we have what? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 blues? And then let's see, we just need like good cards. What are the good generics? Right? We just need good generics, good red generics. This could be funny. Spring Load. Thrust, target sword attack gets +3. This is an attack reaction that we can put in our deck for Talishar. Kind of crazy. Attack react Talishar kind of goes hard. Sure. If you've played a non-attack this turn, Vigorous gets go again. So theoretically, we could go ahead and we can do like Nimblism into this. We can also play this if it hits, put it on the bottom of the deck. So we can pump. We can also play Wounded Bowl. Okay. We're at 42 cards right now. So get rid of the deck reaction. So this is interesting. Let's just assume, right? We've got we want the equipment. So what do we want out of this? Probably, I guess, like with the cards we have, being able to play some of these for free might not be terrible. Actually, I'm curious if there's a quick hidden token. Block of the Fed. Cost 1 or less. When you attack with Clock of the Weather Walkers, create a quick token. That might be kind of funny. Cost 1 or less. How much stuff do we have in our deck that costs 1 or less? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Nearly most of our deck. If we got this in here and we removed Adaverus, a quicken token on some stuff, that'd be kind of funny. Then we have... God, somebody else has to have been... There's no way I'm the first one building a Cavadine deck, right? There's gotta be somebody else. Public. Format, Commoner, Hero, Cavdane. Trader of Skins. Okay, Commoner Fatigue recently. Interesting. Healing Balm, gain life. Huh. You're not playing Sloggism. Oh, you are playing Sloggism. Golly, that's a lot. This is kind of funny. Trot Along doesn't give anything go again in this deck, so it's just a blue black 3. The Sloggism is interesting though, for sure. Okay, well, at least I'm not the first person to start thinking about it. I should have seen what they're... Well, I guess they were just blocking things, right? So let's do that. Let's go ahead and see what we can do. Maybe this. Maybe this, this, and this. There's a bunch of like good generic armor. And then what? Then maybe some AB. And then maybe some Sloggism. You know, like we could play Sloggism. It's gonna cost me a lot of blues to play it though. Maybe Unmovables. Yeah, Unmovable. Unmovable, and then we'll do Null. We'll do the head, the arms, and the... Okay. We have a 52 card Cavdane deck. Kind of crazy. So theoretically in this time, what we can do is we can like put performance bonus in Arsenal Pass. We can block out with this. We can deal some damage. We can come in with Scar for a Scar, and then we can come in with Vigor Rush or something. Vigor Rush is kind of a fun thing if we play a non-attack, because we can play Minnowism into Vigor Rush, and that is it's a 3-card 7 with Go Again, which is pretty good. So can't really complain there. The deck just blocks for garbage. So, but I mean it's pretty aggro for what it's worth. So this is a fun thing to build. This is just for kicks, right? If people want to be like, oh, what does a merchant do? I gotta say though, like out of the merchants, this is a pretty cool hero power. They lose a life and create a copper token. So essentially, if they have one more life than you, you can even the odds, right? And if they have 2 more life than you, you can, if they have 1 more life than you, if they're at 11, you're at 10. You play Cavdine, you have them lose life. So you always want to kind of be below them, which is why cards like Fighting Spirit and Scar for Scar and Wounded Bull are going to be really, really good in this deck. Because you always kind of want to be below them, because you could theoretically pitch to this. They lose a life and gain a copper token, but you get to keep the parity of that deck. So, kind of fun. Okay, sure. I'm not even going to attempt to test this. There's no way it's like crazy good or anything. But part of me thought about, actually, now that I think about it, no, this is fine, actually. This is fine. Yeah, Blossom of Spring's fine. Okay, cool. So that's probably going to be it for me right now. We've made 4 commoner decks now. Like I said, Enigma, Dash, Ira, Azalea, Chain, and Icelander are all pretty much done. And theoretically, if I wanted to add Topple's Fang list into this, then we're pretty much looking at a full suite of heroes already. So that's pretty good. I would say that that's probably what I'm going to end up starting with, is doing that. Enigma, I'm pretty much just, for Enigma, Ira, Chain, and Icelander, all I'm doing is just ripping the top meta decks of those heroes and then making them the battle box, because they report well and they are overall just like the better versions of the decks. Obviously, some things can be tweaked based on certain metas, but you're pretty much looking at exactly that. So, yeah. But I think that's going to be it for me today. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. You guys are joining me on Twitch today. Thank you for coming by on Twitch. I do have a mic here. If you have joined me on YouTube today, thank you so much for being here and enjoying the YouTube session. Thank you to all of the new subscribers that have come by. Thank you to all the new followers on Twitch. If you guys don't know, most of my content that I do is actually over on my YouTube channel at Ashwing's TCG. So feel free to go ahead and pop on over to there if you have not already. And we're going to keep doing more commoner stuff. I'm hoping to get this kind of built up, get the overall concept of the deck down and together, and then hoping that in due time we can even start doing things like blinging them out and making fun little things there. And I'm happy that we ended up with 11 classes tonight instead of 10, because if a pirate hero does come out in ICs, then we at least will know that there will be 12. We can have 12. That'll be good. But we'll see. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate your support. It means a lot to me. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to let me know in the comments of stuff, and I'll certainly go ahead and ask. And then, of course, like I said, just continue to be awesome, continue to enjoy your time, and remember to always have fun. Fun? Remember to always have fun in the flesh and blood. And I will see all of you beautiful Ashwings in our